I'm curious to hear what you think your biggest mistake was in your first term and how you would govern differently in a second term.
There were people I trusted I should not have trusted. There were people I put in positions that I should not have put in positions.
New York Mayor Adams back again on the political defense in his attempt to get a second term as the 110th mayor of New York City. Another round of indictments and of accusations against people who are now former staffers and volunteers for the mayor. Mr. Adams, with the lowest poll numbers of the top 4 candidates for this job.
Eric Adams needs to drop out of the race, like right now, like for real. He's not going to win, period. This guy has embarrassed himself so many times. New Yorkers are basically watching his campaign on life support. It is in flames, dumpster fire. He needs to leave. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This was supposed to be the law and order mayor. At least he was a former cop, but instead he turned the city hall into a pay-for-play reality TV show. There's scandals damn near every week. There's aides being indicted. And now people are literally handing out bribe money in potato chip bags. Not sure what brand the potato chip was. Maybe it was some Lay's. Could have been some Doritos. Cooler Ranch is probably the best flavor. Anyway, let me move past that point. This is not about policy. It's about trust, competency, and Adams threw that away a long time ago. And the only question left is how ugly the exit is going to be. Because right now he has not announced that he's dropping out, but he probably should, especially over the last couple of days. Now you see the story of former team members, people that were in his administration getting indicted, getting caught throwing out bribes. It's a big, epic fall for Eric Adams. But let's talk about more about that right now. Let's get into it.
Mayor Adams stepped to the podium today to deny rumors that he intended to drop out of the race or to resign.
Hell no. That cannot happen. We've come too far to go backwards. That is not going to happen. I'm never going to quit on the city of New York. We worked too hard to get here.
So Eric Adams was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to kind of clean up New York, especially after de Blasio left. Eric Adams was supposed to put a little bit more law and order into the situation. He was a former cop. A lot of people were afraid of what was going on with Bill de Blasio. Crime was at an all-time high. When you think about this, how's he drowning in scandal? Well, think about it. If you had a plumber and you hired him because your pipes were leaking, but then the guy completely floods your damn house, that's Eric Adams. New Yorkers like myself thought that we're going to get a straight shooting ex-cop who finally can stop the nonsense. But instead, we got a mayor who treats corruption like a video game. Adams surrounding himself with people who treat public office like it's a cash register. Every month, it's a new headline. Some kind of shady fundraising. Crooked aides out there doing bad stuff. Bags of money showing up like it's Halloween night, and every single time Adams does the same thing, he kind of shrugs, he suspends the person, maybe fires him, says he didn't know anything about it. He's always confused. And that excuse may work once, maybe twice, but by the 10th scandal, you're not Mr. Law and Order anymore. You're just another crooked politician in New York City. But let's talk about the potato chip scandal. What does it say when a campaign aide is literally caught handing out cash inside a snack bag? Again, we don't know what kind of snack it is. If it does, I'll definitely put it in this video. So this isn't take a penny or leave a penny. This is take some chips and oh, there's $300 in dirty money stuffed inside. So Winnie Greco, one of Adams' closest aides, hands a reporter $300 hidden in a potato chip bag at a Harlem event. You cannot make any of this up.
Yesterday, a volunteer for the re-election campaign has been suspended after reportedly trying to give a reporter for the city, a website, some cash stuffed into a potato chip bag. Winnie Greco, who resigned last year from her role as the mayor's liaison to the Asian community, was already targeted in multiple investigations. The reporter immediately gave the money back, and Greco says it was all a misunderstanding. Now, in a statement, a spokesperson for the mayor said Greco holds no position in this campaign and, quote, Mayor Adams had no prior knowledge of this matter.
It sounds like something that came out of a TV show. And Greco's excuse, well, you can check it out right here.
I give you my number, talk to my lawyer, okay? I have a number, talk to my lawyer.
Yeah, I know that everybody spoke to your lawyer.
Okay, good, thank you.
Why you gave that envelope of cash to reporter Katie Honan. How did you decide to pick Katie Honan? And what was your end goal? What were you hoping for? Can you please tell us what was the purpose of doing
The
that?
purpose, I don't have purpose. And I treat the people everywhere is the same. It's an angel, okay? But if somebody want to hurt me, because I have love to my community, and I have love to the world.
What does that have to do with the money you put in a potato chip bag, lady? What are you talking about?
To my family, my people. And somebody try to hurt me, I cannot say nothing. Before I didn't know how much in my envelope because it's my birthday gift. That's Chinese culture. So I put it up.
So she first says worried about her safety. She's worried about her life. And that's why she gave the money into a potato chip bag and gave it to a reporter. Like, I'm not understanding the reason. The reason sounds pretty silly. Why is she coming up with such a bizarre reason?
Or a birthday gift?
That's somebody give me my birthday gift. So I make mistake. I'm so sorry.
So her mistake is that she received a birthday gift in cash, and that was in a potato chip bag, and then she decided to give money to the reporter. Whose birthday was it? Was it her birthday or the reporter's birthday? Even if it was the reporter's birthday, is that a bit inappropriate to be sliding in money in potato chip bags? It seems to be a bit inappropriate. This person has accusations of corruption, as she was dealing with Eric Adams and his administration. I still don't understand her reasoning.
I cannot say nothing. Talk to my lawyer.
Yeah, so did you say that Katie Holman was trying to hurt you? You said
Yes.
Katie Holman was trying to hurt you in what
Yes.
way?
Yes.
And that's why
So
you
talk
gave
to
her
my lawyer. I
and that's
cannot
why
say
you gave her the money?
No. It's not like I don't want to say anything. Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't want to say nothing. But God will. Thank you.
She was better off not speaking at all. None of that made any sense. Was that a bribe to stop the reporter for hurting her family? None of that made any sense. Totally confused. Eric Adams, again, I don't know how you are still going to be running this race. It's not going to happen. You're cooked. Still confused about that answer. She says it was a cultural gift, but what culture is that? The corrupt culture? Getting caught sloppily handing out cash in a potato chip bag? Because the last time I checked, no one's grandma is out there slipping hundreds of dollars in a bag of Ruffles. Usually it comes in a nice little card, a nice little envelope. And Adams did what politicians always do, hit the panic button, suspend her immediately, claim he knew nothing. But that's the problem. Even if he didn't know, it's happening right under his nose. You can't sell yourself as a reformer when your staff is literally handing out bribery snacks like it's Halloween candy. And the optics of this is completely brutal.
I'm curious to hear what you think your biggest mistake was in your first term and how you would govern differently in a second term.
I say it over and over again. You don't govern in this city where you're dealing with major crises. Many mayors had to deal with one crisis. Bloomberg had to deal with 9/11. De Blasio dealt with COVID. We had to deal with multiple. The COVID crises we had to face. We also had to face 237,000 migrants and asylum seekers that the federal government required us to take necessary steps, and the city government required us to house, feed, clothe, educate 50,000 children. The crime crises, all those crises, you make bad decisions. There were people I trusted I should not have trusted. There were people I put in positions that I should not have put in positions. But you try to make the best decision for New Yorkers. And when you look at those mistakes of judgment and mistakes in making the right calls and say, okay, well, how did you do even in spite of that? I moved the city forward. More jobs in the city's history. Crime is at some of the lowest numbers in the city's history. Our children are being educated at a rate faster than the state.
Okay. So Eric Adams is going to probably be a one-term mayor. Rudy Giuliani was the one who dealt with 9/11. Now, Bloomberg had 2 terms. I think Rudy had 2 terms. I believe de Blasio had 2 terms. And this guy here, Eric Adams, is going to be a one-term mayor. People are broke. Crime is still a problem. Rents are high. And here's a mayor and his team throwing around cash. A normal campaign aide or aide of the mayor hands you a flyer, maybe a button you can put on your shirt or your bag, A corrupt Adams administration aide hands you sour cream and onion with a side of hush money. So if that wasn't bad enough, obviously there's even more of his top people getting hit with federal charges, multiple federal charges. And mind you, Mayor Adams was able to get away with his federal charges because he made nice with Trump. But let's talk about the situation here.
It all comes 24 hours after two of his former aides were among several people indicted on bribery and conspiracy charges. Former Deputy Commissioner Jesse Hamilton and Ingrid Lewis Martin, once second only to the mayor when it comes to power and influence at City Hall.
Ingrid is like a sister to me, and throughout the number of years that I have known her, I found her to be a hard-working, dedicated member of city government for over 40 years.
Eric Adams has this most corrupt, fantasy football team. So imagine you had a fantasy football team, but instead of half of your starters being injured, half of them are under indictment. That's Adams' inner circle. Take Ingrid Lewis Martin, his former chief advisor, very important person. She's been accused of pocketing over $75,000 in bribes. We're talking full-on envelopes for contracts corruptions, steering projects, moving city money around like it was her own personal Venmo. And it's not just her, it was her son too.
Now, Lewis Martin is facing several charges, including 4 counts of conspiracy in the 4th degree and 4 counts of bribe receiving in the 2nd degree. Her son is also facing charges along with 7 others in this particular case.
So you can add in the mother-son bribery scheme floating around Adams' circle, and suddenly his administration looks less like City Hall and more like a casting call for American greed.
The mayor has denied any wrongdoing himself, but this has become an opportunity for his challengers to accuse him of bad judgment, and that's just what they were doing yesterday.
This makes it a mockery. It plays to the worst impression that you could have.
He surrounds himself with cronies who are corrupt. This will probably finally end any hopes he has for re-election.
In tennis, they would say that from the Adams administration, these are unforced errors that have landed in the mayor's lap late in this election campaign.
I would agree with that, though I'd say it's quite charitable, because what you're seeing is a mayor who has surrounded himself with people who've made these kinds of decisions again and again and again. And if you look at DA Alvin Bragg's case, he lays out very clearly that this is a city for sale. And it's the same city that New Yorkers can't afford, and yet we see Adams' closest advisors making more than $100,000 off of that same place.
Are voters understanding that? Do you feel that you've got to drive that point home, or is it speaking for itself?
It's speaking for itself. I find this no matter where I am across the 5 boroughs, that New Yorkers are tired of this kind of pay-to-play politics, quite literally pay-to-play. I mean, we're speaking about a city being sold for crab cakes and, a feature in a TV show. We're seeing allegations about potato chip bags filled with cash. This is the kind of script that you would reject for being too on the nose if it was given to you.
And you see right here that Eric Adams needs to get out of the race. Too much corruption, too much incompetence. You have all of the other mayoral candidates just obviously beating him up. When you have so many advisors either indicted or in trouble, that's culture. That's the environment that Adams created. Adams promised something that he's not delivering. What he basically delivered is a pay-to-play circle where the house always wins, and the house is him and his crew. So right now, people don't feel safe, and it's still really expensive to live here in New York City. People are still struggling. It's a money game. Fundraising is where you measure momentum in politics, and Adams is broke on multiple fronts, cash and credibility. He's trailing behind Mondambi. That's probably going to win the entire thing, whether people like it or not. But this dude is outraising him by wide margins. So you know that Adams is cooked. And Cuomo is doing better than him. So New Yorkers are left choosing between Adams, the scandal magnate, then Cuomo, the groper who got bounced out of office, and Mondambi, the socialist that a lot of people don't want running the city. So let's put this all on the table, guys. You got the scandals, you got the bribes, the crimes, the cash. Eric Adams walked into office promising to do some special things, but right now, he is not the guy for the job. He was supposed to be the guy that was going to clean up New York, but really he just made it into more nonsense, more about pay-for-play stuff. He has been accused of that. Luckily, Trump won and he was able to get out of that jam, but more advisors are picking up federal indictments. You still have a lot of scandals, especially in the NYPD, where there was people exchanging sex for overtime pay. There's so many problems. There's a very small chance that Eric Adams will be reelected as New York City mayor. But what you guys think about the situation, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.